I've been having fun playing around with my metal lathe, but there's all kinds of bits and bobs that go with it that I'd like to be able to put away, but I don't have a space for that yet. So I'll make a drawer that fits right underneath here. I'll start by making a little jig to dowel the sides of the drawer into the front. So that's now just a block of wood with 5 holes in it, and I'll cut that in half. And I'll use 1/2 of that block to drill the holes into the front of the drawer. You have to be very careful about the alignment, especially with that line that indicates where the edge of the drawer front is supposed to be. And I have to move that clamp a little bit to drill that last hole. And now the other side of the drawer front, and again the X in my jig goes on that line. And next, using the other half of that block as a drill guide for drilling the holes into the drawer sides. And before, that X was lined up with the outside edge of the drawer front. Now the X is lined up with my workbench top. So that way the edge of the workpiece is going to be where the line was on the drawer front. And now making a whole bunch of thin dowels out of bamboo skewers. And routing a rabbet into the bottom of the drawer front. This is for the bottom of the drawer to fit into so that it's not visible from the front. And now doweling it together, if you look carefully you'll notice that the 5 holes are actually not perfectly in line. But the way I use the jigs, that all cancels out so that the holes on the side are also not in line in exactly the same way that they're not in line on the drawer front. The way this doweling method works is if I want to attach the drawer side to the drawer front like this and line up with these 2 lines, let me just mark that. I'll just take this as a jig for the sides and that will go on here like this, lined up with this side and this side here, and this one goes on here, line up with this edge and this edge here, and then I just drill the holes, and I know the holes from this will line up with this perfectly because the holes in these 2 line up perfectly because I drilled those when it was in one piece and then cut it in half. And with the drawer sides glued on, now I can glue in the drawer back, and I'm just gluing that in as a butt joint for now. And while the glue for my butt joint is still drying, I'm drilling 3 holes here to reinforce the corner with more bamboo skewers. And now attaching the bottom, and I always use attaching the bottom as an opportunity to force that drawer perfectly into a square because the bottom is cut perfectly square. And now nailing it on, it's ironic that I was so careful not to use metal fasteners putting the drawer itself together, and now I don't hesitate to just drive a whole bunch of nails on there to hold it on. And I'm drilling some small pilot holes for the nails that go into the front of the drawer because that part is hardwood, so it'd be really hard to nail. And now just making sure the drawer actually fits in there. And it's much easier to mount that drawer with a lathe off of the thing. So it turns out my drawer is almost touching the workbench, so that's not ideal. So I decided to add some little feet to the stand just to raise it up a little bit. And I'm just hot gluing some soft pieces of wood on there, and it always helps to warm up the workpieces. That way the hot glue flows much better. And then I had the idea of adding another thin layer of hot glue to the bottom of the feet because that hot glue is a little bit soft and grippy, so perfect for feet. Now I got the drawer divided into tool-specific cubbies, and now I finally have a place for my lathe accessories. I have a few more videos planned for that lathe, but it's really nice to just be able to put it away for now.